Boom.
Hey, everybody. Jeff from the Exercise Therapy Association here with Brendan. Is stretching helping or harming your clients? Today's educational series is all about hypermobility. So we've got a great topic for you today. Really, really excited to be with you. Now, if you stick around to the end of today's webinar, we might have a special gift, a special surprise for you. So, welcome to today's educational webinar series. Say hi, everybody. Drop your name in the or say hi in the chat. Drop in your favorite emoji. Let us know who's out there, as we love to engage with everybody that joins us for these live educational series and webinars. So say hi. We're looking forward to spending some time with you today. Now, we are super grateful for everybody that shows up. We want to thank you for coming today. Thank you for joining us. You know, you could have slept in, you could be sitting on your couch, but you chose to show up and educate yourself. We got DJs out there. We got a couple of other people there. Carrie from Toronto. Awesome. Bunch of people. We're really grateful that you join us here today. We know that it's a difficult time. You know, every time the lockdown happens, health and fitness pros are, losing steam, losing motivation, but you're not. You're in the top percentage of health and fitness pros because still deep into this lockdown, deep into the situation, you show up to educate yourself. You stay motivated to keep doing something to move yourself forward. So you are in the top percentage of fitness professionals, and you guys are going to make the most amount of impact, and you're going to come out of this all way ahead because you show up to educate yourself, to stay engaged, to keep moving forward. So we really, really want to thank you all. Hi, Sharon from Ottawa. It's good to see you, for showing up and educating yourself and staying engaged and doing things that are really going to help your clients. So thank you so much from both myself and Brendan. And we really, really value you guys, and you are the top of fitness pros, okay? So we want to also give a special shout out to our exercise therapy crew. If you guys are certified in exercise therapy, you've taken the exercise therapy certification, drop a little heart emoji in there, a purple heart, red heart, whatever your favorite color heart is. Our heart goes out to you because you spent that time with us in that certification. We've gotten to know you, and we've, kept relationships and built relationships. Patrick Jong is there. He's exercise therapy certified. We got Eric joining us from Toronto. Eric, hi, thanks for coming. Really appreciate you coming. It's good to see you. Okay. So we also want to know where you're watching from today. So we got people from Mississauga, Windsor, Ottawa. Drop in where you're watching from so we can know where on this great earth you guys are watching from. We always get people from Australia and Europe and the US watching, so it's great for us to see where people are watching us from and have all you guys join us. So we're super excited for today's topic about hypermobility. It's going to be a great topic. Brendan is going to take us through a lot of great stuff today. So without further ado, I will introduce Brendan. Brendan is our head coach at the Exercise Therapy Certification, Coach Fox. And Brendan has spent the last 18 years in the fitness industry. He's graduated with a degree in kinesiology from Wilfrid Laurier University, and he has spent most of his time at a medical clinic working alongside doctors, working on the toughest injury cases. And out of all that experience working at a medical clinic, he's tested out his system in the real world, seen what really works, getting clients out of aches and pains, and used that to develop a 100% original system, which we now teach as the exercise therapy system. Brendan has taken that system and used it at the highest level with Olympic gold medalists, pro athletes, competitors, and he's tested it to make sure that it works. And it's produced amazing breakthrough results at the very highest level. He's also been a guest expert on many television shows, the Marilyn Dennis Show, Breakfast Television, TSN, and been an international presenter and expert at many fitness conferences. So that is Mr. Brennan Fox, and he's going to be joining us. Brennan, how are you today?
I'm amazing. I'm just enjoying the outdoors here today. You can see I'm out on a lake in the Ottawa area, just taking it in, and thought I would just give everybody a different view for a change for these webinars, and just do
That's
something
awesome.
outdoors.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
that's
go for a
awesome.
run on that lake later, get some exercise. Hopefully, I don't fall in. We'll
It
see what
looks
happens.
great out there. It does look great. Is there anything this winter that you have been doing to have some fun and enjoy the winter weather in particular?
I've been going for winter hikes with my wife, and we recently saw this big great owl on a hike, and then a couple days ago we went and there was a beaver home, so we were checking that out. So just nature's always got something new and exciting to show us. So just taking in the winter nature scene has been a highlight for me this winter.
Awesome, awesome. Great to hear. I get myself out in nature too from time to time. I have dogs. They don't take days off, so we have to get them out and on the trails every day. So I can appreciate what you're saying. All right,
Awesome.
so we're going to dive into hypermobility today. So this is a topic that a lot of health and fitness pros don't actually get educated on. Like I did a degree in kinesiology and I did 2 or 3 base certifications, and not one of them talked about hypermobility or how it played into me training my clients. So I know that I personally was not educated on this on any of the certifications or education that I took. So I feel like it's an important topic. How has this been something that has been important in your career and you helping out clients?
Well, I think success in this career all comes down to having a really awesome bag of tricks so that you can take out the tools you need when you need it to wow people and create raving fans. And what I learned is I almost felt like after I'd done a degree in kinesiology and I started working in the real world, I almost felt like I got scammed. Because when clients were coming with problems, I'm like, we didn't learn fibromyalgia in university. I didn't learn how to assess this, how to assess that. And so I've just been a perpetual student trying to figure out what is that practical wisdom we actually need to succeed in the job, because I feel like I got an education for a reality that doesn't exist. So I had to go out there and try to like piece a lot of these things together. And, the assessment we're going to talk about today is really powerful because it's super fast. It gives you really powerful information and it's very repeatable. You can do this with just about anybody and it can really set you apart. And that's really big because you want to be able to develop more of a reputation in order to have your services in greater demand. And to do that, you need to do things that are different. And this is one of those such assessments that's not part of the mainstream education. But if you do it, it can give you information to help people make breakthroughs where traditional methods have failed.
Amazing, amazing. So that's why it's so important. What I liked what you really said there is that it's easy to do and repeatable, right? There's no no point of our health and fitness pros learning an assessment that's complicated, takes a lot of time. Like it's just not going to land with clients well. And so the fact that it's fast and it's easy to use makes it so usable for our health and fitness pros with their clients. So, what are some of the most important things that our health and fitness pros need to know about hypermobility and implementing this into how they program and train with clients?
Yeah, just to give everyone a high level overview, mainstream has really taught us that muscles are tight and they need to be stretched. That's what you learn in gym class growing up. That's the common dialogue. But, if 100,000 people say a stupid thing, it's still a stupid thing. The truth of the matter is that we all have genetic variations in how loose ligaments are. Ligaments are what holds bone to bone. Okay, so for some of us, those ligaments are very tight, and for some of us, those ligaments are really loose. And to some degree, it can change. Okay, but this is really important to know because for a lot of people, when they do a stretch, if they have loose ligaments, they will pull the joint open before stretching any muscle. And if you open up your joints too much, you create joint instability. And joint instability is a common cause behind those aches and pains that just show up out of nowhere. So one of the things that I found in my career was I was able to attract more clients, retain existing clients, and renew clients better because I was able to educate people on where they fit on the hypermobility scale. Everybody generally has a 0 to 9 score. And just to give an example, there was one person who saw me, a prospect that saw me for a consultation. They had aches and pains. We went through this assessment. It took us about 3 minutes. In that 3 minutes, I determined that this person should not be stretching. This was an individual who was stretching about an hour a day because that's what they were told they were supposed to do. As what I did, and they weren't really believing me at first. So they're like, that doesn't make sense that I shouldn't be stretching. Everybody says I should be stretching. Every trainer I've met with said, I need to stretch. I need to open up my joints. That's the problem. That's why I have all these aches and pains. So at first, I was telling them the exact opposite message everyone else had told them. So it was a little bit of a tough pill to swallow. But I said, look, don't believe me. Just run your own experiment in your life. Take 1 week off of stretching. You deserve at least that. Just focus on the stability exercises and see how it goes. So this person did that. They took a week off stretching. They did a lot of stability exercise as an experiment. A week later, they called me up and they wanted to sign up for the year with me because they hadn't felt that good in years. And so they immediately made the switch. Now, that is one of many similar stories. I've had many stories where somebody's seen me and they might be doing something for their health and fitness and getting coaching in some way, shape, or form. But you got to remember that the exercise programming is only as good as the assessment that was used to customize it. So if somebody feels like they've got some coaching and some programming, but they miss this assessment piece, this can be a critical determinant in a client's success. So if you're assessing this and other people aren't, you're going to stand out. You're going to attract clients. You're going to build a reputation. It's that simple. And this is so, so easy to do.
That's amazing. Yeah. And what I like there is that, our health and fitness pros can find out things that other people aren't finding or things that maybe they weren't looking for before. And that's what's going to create these amazing breakthroughs with clients. It's going to create that wow factor. And when you do that with clients, they're going to be loyal to you. So that's amazing. That's amazing. So it sounds like you said that it's a scale, right? So it's not like, hey, I'm hypermobile or I'm not hypermobile, but there's actually levels of hypermobility. And so you can be on a scale, right? And that's what you're saying?
Yeah. Now there is, according to the book, The Malalignment Syndrome by Dr. Wolf Schamberger, if you wanted to use one simple test, it would be this. You see how close you can get your thumb to your forearm using your other hand to help. Usually the thumb can get to about parallel with the forearm, okay? The closer your thumb gets to the forearm, the more hypermobile you are, generally speaking. This isn't a hard, fixed rule. If you needed to use one test, that's what Dr. Wolf Schamberger would recommend you do. In my clinical experience over 30,000 hours, if I got no time, I just go to that one there. If you want further clarity, you can test it more joint by joint, and you can go through all of the tests. And if you guys want, I can take you through just a quick walkthrough of them, and everybody can just do this right now if you like. Okay?
Yeah, that would be great. Let's go through them quickly and see what they're about.
All right, so here's the deal. You just keep everything relaxed. First thing, you just see if you can bend your pinky finger up 90 degrees. You can see that's not quite 90 degrees. That might be 60, but you're going to go both sides. Just bend your pinky finger up 90 degrees. This test here. Can you do that? It's 1 point per side. So if you can do it on the right, that's 1 point. If you can do it on the left, that's 1 point. You don't get a point, neither do I. No big deal, okay? So right now, everyone's got a score out of 2 points. Now we go the thumb to forearm. You can see that's a drawing of being able to touch the thumb to the forearm. I can't do it. Neither can you. So you and I are both 0 for 4, but it's 1 point per thumb. Okay. Now the next one is this. Do your elbows bend backwards 10 degrees? So it should be like this or more. So when you hold your arm out to the side, do they bend backwards? And it's 1 point per elbow. Okay. And then I get people to lock out their knees all the way. Lock out the knees all the way. And then, well, sorry. This is a real session, okay? I'm outside and there's like winter wind here. So that's why I had to pick up my sheet. So can you do your knees bend backwards 10 degrees like that when you lock them out? Can you lock them out 10 degrees? And that's 1 point per side. And then the last test is just, keeping your legs straight. Can you bend forward and touch your palms to the floor? And don't do that one if you have a discogenic problem in your low back. And if you can do that, that's 1 point. Okay, so everybody gets a score out of 9. Now, this is applied from an orthopedic test called the Baton scale and the Rockabato index. Okay, so what I've done is I've taken those, I've applied a lot of research that I've done on my own, and I've added notes in from different experts and other different nuances to this particular tool. Everybody has a score out of 9. Okay, now here's what this score means. If you're 0 to 2, okay, hands up if you're 0 to 2, that's me. All right, Jeff, I'm assuming that's you. Then it means generally problems are more muscle related, not joint related. And people in this category can benefit from adding stretching or massage. Okay, and generally you stay in this category. Now, your score can change due to injury. So if you really get a serious elbow injury, then maybe you get a hypermobile elbow on one side, or a serious knee injury, you can get a hypermobile knee on one side. So it can change, right, with trauma and other things, but generally you're going to be around this category, okay, and remain there. Now, if you had the second grouping is if you had 3 to 4 points, that's mild hypermobility. Basically means you should only be stretching if you have a really good reason for that stretch. So don't just go in and do a general stretch everything class, because you're going to stretch things that are already loose, and you're going to loosen them up to the point where the gears aren't lined up and you got an instability. So it means you have to stretch with purpose only. Okay. And then with that category, sometimes for women in particular, due to the relaxin hormone, if they're having a pregnancy and stuff like that, then I just treat them like more hypermobile. I just don't get them doing any stretching because the ligaments can loosen up more due to hormones with women in particular. And then if somebody's in the 5 to 9 category, that's really important to know, because people in this category, I do not have doing stretches generally at all. Okay. It's all, if their muscles are dense, we do foam rolling, we do percussion, you can do massage, but I don't want them pulling the joints open. All right. Now, an example of this would be, there was a runner who got a scholarship to the States, and I worked with this runner, and they ended up injured their whole running career in the States. And they went and saw all the physios and chiros and everybody because they were there on a scholarship, and they were just plagued by injuries the whole time. So they saw me a few years later, and I was like, okay, well, you're a 6 out of 9 on the hypermobility scale. Did anyone else assess that? And she was like, no. And she's like, I saw all the top sports medicine experts. Nobody assessed it. And I said, my assessment is telling me you should not be stretching. And she's like, what? Everybody said that's what I need to do. And if I get aches and pains, I just need to stretch more. And then I'm like, how did that work out for you? She's like, things would just get worse. And I was like, okay, well, let the results speak for themselves. So I said, get off stretching completely. No more stretching. We're just going to do exercises. If muscles are sore, you percuss it. That's it. Right? She was able to get back into consistent running. She ended up crossing the finish line first in one of those big Toronto runs. I don't know whether it was like a half marathon or something. She finished first overall. I got a picture of her crossing the finish line, everything else. She's been injury free ever since. Really, that was a turning point for her, was this one assessment that took us 3 minutes, because, you have to find it to fix it. And if you're not finding the problem that somebody has this genetic loose ligaments, then you can't program for it. And you're making the same mistakes everybody else makes. Now, the other thing for this is especially no banded distractions where you're pulling the joints open. I see so many different joint instability issues because of that. And I see a lot of trainers really get gun-ho on that. Like the minute they get those things, they're carrying them around a gym like a dog with a stick in its mouth, just proud at what you found and using it. And I'm like, that's not exactly intellectually responsible unless you have a good reason. It's a great tool when it's needed. Great tool. I love those things when it's needed, but just it takes some wise discrimination. Yep.
So what I'm hearing there is that, using this tool to really customize your training approach, your warm-up approach is going to be super valuable, and you're going to get more results from your clients, more pain for your clients, and probably more referrals too. Because, like generally, like you just said with banded distractions, is somebody will go out and do banded distractions with 4 or 5 different areas of their body, right? And maybe that's not the right thing for them, and this will help you customize sort of how you do it. So that's amazing. That's got our fitness pros can use this to customize their approach and really deliver a higher level of service to their clients. Now, I just want to make something clear because somebody asked in the chat. They were asking, is it per elbow you're scoring? So yes, you're scoring, right, Brendan, per side on the elbow and the fingers and everything. And that's where you get your score out of 9. Okay, great. So I do have a question for you on this, is that if we have a health and fitness pro that uses a stretching modality as part of their session, right? So they're using, let's say, PNS stretching or fascial stretching, how would you recommend that they use this type of information to dictate how they use those modalities in their session or with their clients?
Yeah, I'm always a big fan of truth through experience. So I would say that although I'm giving you information, I don't want you to second guess the results you get in the real world with your clients. So I would just want you to have a way, I'd want you to pay attention to the results you get. Okay. And don't take everything I say as like being written in stone, but take it as a perspective that might help you have a more robust perspective to helping your clients. In my experience, I would use this to determine what kinds, I would want to know the why. So why are we doing, say, fascial stretch? Why are we doing a stretching protocol, right? Muscles are tight and somebody's got tight ligaments. Great. Those are awesome tools. You can have tremendous benefit. But you can't cut the person to fit the coat. There are some individuals that might make things worse. So you have to be open to that possibility. Everybody often will get excited when they've got a new method or a new tool to use, and they try to use it with everybody. And that's where we're kind of doing a disservice to our clients. This allows you to customize more appropriately. So if somebody's got loose ligaments, it's very easy to overdo it with some of those other methods. And then you've got to ask yourself, what are you really trying to accomplish? Because they already have potentially an issue with being unstable, and some of those methods might contribute more to instability. So I would say, what are you trying to accomplish? What's the outcome? Like, just ask yourself those basic questions rather than just going in all excited and using some of your new things in your bag of tricks. So I think that's really, and I'm guilty of that. Early in my career, I would do that. I would take a course and I'd be like, all right, I'm doing this kind of PNF stretching with everybody and just see how it works. But I didn't know any better. I honestly thought I was doing the right thing. So I've been there. So my heart goes out to you if you've done that. I get it. We get excited. We want to share this stuff with everybody. But there is a level beyond. No matter how good you are, there's a level beyond in your capabilities. And for some of us, we can implement this tool more for a greater benefit. And for some of us, we can start adding this tool if we haven't already. Just add it to your bag of tricks because it is something can absolutely set you apart.
Amazing. So when we look at someone that is sort of in that middle range, like you were saying, how would you recommend health and fitness pros deal with that? So they're not high on the hypermobility, but they're not a 1 or 2 either. What are some of your best recommendations for the clients that are in the middle range?
My best recommendations is if they're in the middle range, I generally avoid stretching if I can. Okay, I err more on the side of caution. There might be times when I might get them to do some different stretches for the calves and things that are less likely to be, unstable as a joint. The shoulder can be unstable really easily. So I would back off on stretches for, say, the shoulder, just because of the nature of the joint. Ball and socket can be a little bit, so I kind of take it on a joint by joint basis a little bit more. A hip joint is another ball and socket. So I generally avoid the stretches there just because of how much motion can happen there. But with some of the other joints, you can incorporate stretches, but have a feedback loop. So what I'll do is I'll do some hands-on testing, or I'll do a pain move just to make sure I'm not making things worse. But it does require a little bit more discretion. And for people in that middle category, that's where it's going to apply more application of wisdom and further assessment for sure.
Amazing. Thank you so much for this amazing tool here today. We're running out of time a little bit here. So I just want to, sort of recap for everybody here is that, we really want to be assessing whether stretching is the right thing for our clients. And every single client should get this assessment, right, Brendan?
I give it to every single one right at the beginning. I write it down and we follow by those guidelines. And in my experience, it's worked super well. I've never had over 30,000 hours. I've never had a bad experience from applying the wisdom on this assessment. Like that's not to say it's not possible. I'm just saying the results have shown that this is super, super reliable for very good reasons.
Great. So we're going to apply this assessment right away in the beginning with every client. That's going to allow our health and fitness pros to customize their prep work, their warm up, their training session, their homework, everything for the client. And it's going to help them create pain-free clients. And like you said, if someone else has not looked for this and you find it, it can create a wow factor. And with a wow factor, that's going to make them loyal to you for life as a client, but also generate referrals because they're going to be like, you got to go see so-and-so. So that's amazing. That's amazing. Really, really great wisdom. Do you have any final words that you want to share with everybody out there today?
A bunch of things. Always. So one of the things is this. I always hated the sales side of our industry. I hated the pressure of you got to hit your numbers, you got to do this and you got to do that. But what I learned is when you increase your capabilities, you let your reputation do the sales for you. So, and that was my experience in my career. If you just get a lot of good tools in your toolbox, you have an awesome bag of tricks, you don't have to worry about sales anymore. And you can achieve that financial freedom in your career. Just add amazing assessments, amazing correctives, amazing programming stuff to set yourself apart. You don't have to worry about that stuff. That's one. That's what I've learned in my career. Another thing is this. Success often means hanging in after others have let go. Okay? I'm going to say that one more time. Success often comes down to just hanging in after others have let go. A lot of people are letting go in this industry right now. A lot of health professionals are letting go. And you know what? My heart goes out to them. Love them. They've got their reasons. Okay? If you're here, likely you're sticking around. And maybe you're on the fence sometimes about what you want to do and whether this career is going to make sense in the long term. But I just want to remind you that those who stick around will be rewarded. This is definitely a trial period for everybody right now. But remember that in many aspects of life, success just comes down to hanging in longer than other people. And if you're making that commitment and you're joining us, my commitment to you is because I care, I'm just going to give you a whole bunch of stuff to help you succeed so we can go and take that journey together.
Awesome. Yes, we are all going through this trial together. And if we stick together and continue to help each other, we're going to make it through the other side. So we want to know, guys, what was your key takeaway from today's webinar? So as we went through the stretching, the hypermobility session today, there was a lot of great takeaways. We want to know what was your key takeaway or what was your favorite part. That helps us serve you better and come up with more great webinars, content that we can share with you. So please let us know what your favorite part was. Drop it in the comments right now. A key takeaway for me was, the banded distractions, right? Because you think about stretching, I get that, but the banded distractions, maybe you haven't thought about that before, and that's something we need to think about. So drop it into the chat there, what your key takeaway from today is, or what your favorite part was. That's going to help us moving forward. Not only that, but if you got something out of today, if you found even one piece of value out of today, we're going to ask you to share this video with somebody else in the industry, okay? So if you got even one tangible piece of information out of today's webinar, commit to us that you're going to share it with a colleague, a coworker, somebody in the industry. You can tag them in the comments or you can physically share it onto their timeline. Do that for us right now if you got one valuable piece of information out of today. Now, we do have a special gift, as I said, for you today. But first, I want to just let everybody know that we're really excited. We're doing another Movement Mastery seminar on February 26th. So we ran Movement Mastery in the fall. It's sold out both times that we ran it. It's a virtual seminar. So this is a one-day seminar. You get prep work, videos, and handouts and all that prior to the seminar. We do a live virtual session where Brendan is going to be teaching people for the afternoon. And in this, you're going to get a unique movement assessment that Brendan's created that assesses a client's capacity to be able to move well. So you, with this movement assessment and movement mastery, you're also going to be finding things that other trainers, other health and fitness professionals are not looking for when it comes to movement. It's not a squat assessment. It's what comes before the squat assessment. Okay. You're also going to get 100% original programming solutions that will restore function and harmonious movement in your clients. These were all recipes developed by Brendan Fox in the medical clinic, and these will help you become known as the go-to expert in creating pain-free clients. The best part is that everything in the Movement Mastery Seminar on February 26th can be done in virtual or remote sessions with clients. So we've created it so that you can use it live when you get back to the gym, but you can use it right now with clients, both the assessments and the solutions in virtual and remote sessions with clients. So Movement Mastery is happening February 26th. Check it out. It's an amazing seminar. It's only $227. Head to the workshop part of our website right now, and you can register because it is going to sell out. It's sold out in the fall. Okay. Now it's time for the bonus. Brendan, are you ready for the bonus?
Oh, I know what it is. I'm ready for you to unveil the newest version of the hypermobility assessment, version 2.0.
Yes, so we have a brand new version of the hypermobility assessment. It has been updated since we've taught our exercise therapy course. And for anybody that hasn't taken the exercise therapy course, we're giving you the assessment too today. All you have to do is email us, info@exercisetherapyassociation.com, and ask for the hypermobility assessment, and we will send it to you. So again, info@exercisetherapyassociation.com. Shoot us an email. In the subject line, just put "send me the hypermobility assessment." And as our gift for showing up today, for watching through to the end, we are going to send you the hypermobility assessment. Absolutely awesome. Thank you for joining us, everybody, today. We really appreciate your time, and we appreciate you showing up. And like Brendan said, those that are hanging in there in the fitness industry, educating themselves, moving forward, you are going to reap the rewards of all this. You are going to get it back. It's just going to take a little bit of time. Thank you, and we will see you next time on our educational series.